Hello and welcome to the next session. I think it's session 5 of Coriolis Impulse Drive, or rather Impulse Drive Coriolis. Don't know, was the King Kong versus Godzilla or which way we order that stuff. But we are playing the Coriolis setting, which is really interesting, has a lot of evocative things to it. My background's in Middle Eastern studies in college and stuff, and this is one of the least Orientalist in some ways RPGs in some ways, um, but I love the atmosphere to it, and we are playing it using Impulse Drive, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, and which has a lot of moves to it that we've explored, and we'll be hitting a lot of those moves again today. We are here in session 5. We're down one of our players, our captains. We're in the middle of a situation that I'm going to talk about in just a second. Our captain will be back next week. And if you're watching this, know that this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community, and you can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. So please come and check that out. We are here. Sherry, did you find the sheet, or do I need to get you the link? Okay. All right. Let's check in real quick. Does anyone have anything about hooks that they want to make any changes or adjustments to those, or is everybody pretty happy with those hooks?
I'm I don't have a change for it this time, but I'm looking to like evolve my I'm at the mercy of my fear, because I feel like I've hit that one a number of times.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good.
So I'll be looking for something in that this session. But I also wanted to point out my new one from last session, which is that recusant is so disturbed by me that they recoil at my touch.
Oh, good. Yeah, that is.
So there's that.
Chef's kiss there. All right. And Patrick, did you get advanced last time?
I did. And I think instead of, because all of my sort of moves would move things forward in a really like significant way for Kyrie, so I went with a gear slot this time because I really love that chameleon suit. I wanted to add it to my normal loadout.
Okay, so I can't just take it away from you.
Well, I mean, you definitely can.
Yeah, well, I can, but you would get it back if you have it in your gear thing, so it's all good on there. Excellent. Leandro, are you happy with recusant's hooks right now?
Yeah. So the two of them, I think, still relevant. I do want to point out I missed something in character creation. Apparently, I'm meant to have a tactical cloak.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, I took that from taking Master Thief. Let me just find that in the gear. Where do you see gear?
So I will share with you. Let me find it. Maybe I put it in the folder. I did a revised gear thing. It's in the Impulse Drive folder. It is, what's the word? Half-assed? Kind of a conversion between the Impulse Drive and the Coriolis stuff there. Yeah, Coriolis equipment. Cool. And let me see if it has the details on tactical cloaks. Restricted gear, aesthetics, bodysuit, back suit. Let's see here. Tactical cloak, a suit that provides optical camouflage through advanced technology. When you activate your tactical cloak to try to escape notice, discharge your tactical cloak and roll Act Quick at advantage to lose your pursuers or move a short distance undetected.
Oh, sweet. Add that to my gear. And yeah, I think that's it. My hooks are fine. I took a new move called the, oh no, my browser is freezing up. Well, you can read it there in the sheet. It's called the Assassin's Thrust.
Yes.
So basically, if anyone is at my mercy, I may do what I wish with them, incapacitate or end them. I think that's the wording.
Yes, we have a move that is called Alpha Strike, which is still, if you can't retaliate. This one means you don't even have to roll for that. So that's good. And let's come to you, Kala. Are you good with your
Yeah,
stuff?
I'm in an awkward in between thing, so there are no changes.
Okay. And how did you take an advance last time, or are you
I had
still working
taken
away?
an advance the time before, and
Okay.
yeah, so I'm like right close to getting another advance, I think.
Well, luckily, with that 2 thing, all it's going to take is a couple failed rolls, and you will get that advance right away.
Okay, sounds good.
That cat.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, and based on how your scum and villainy session went on Friday, we can be assured that you're going to make that advance.
Well, that was everyone else. I was rolling very hot.
That's true. So let's look over where we're at, what the situation is. You had arrived on the planet of Icons, Mira. This is the sort of center of the worship of the Icons faith. It is a planet that is devoted to pilgrimages and worship. It is a very first comer centered planet, old family lines and things like that. And you're in the city of Icons. You had arrived to try and find a way to make some contact or interactions with the Chalebs Manau family. They have potentially information materials that relate to the discs, and there's a whole person on that. Essentially, the bottom line is your goal is to play nice with them, and or like find a way in to get access to their resources. To that end, you agreed to take a job that was clearly a concealed job from one of the people in the Chalebs Manau family, and you were tasked with locating a by what they call a bionic. And this is a bad term in the game because bionic means something else to me, but a bionic is actually somebody who does the bio enhancements and things. You were given a cellular sample and to analyze, and through that you were able to determine that it was a human sample where a very nasty genetic disease, fatal genetic disease, had been removed from it. You're able to identify the work as belonging to a sort of legendary bionic known as the Tailor, and likely has some background with the Order of the Pariah, though the Order of Pariah wouldn't be happy to have somebody out doing this. And you were also able to, from the sample, determine a possible location for where the Tailor is based on atmospherics and pollution and things like that. Again, this is a city. It is a seaside city. There are floating factories. There are floating shrines. There's a great blue dome there. There's a lot of those things around. There's a lot of foot traffic on the ground, but there's also a lot of air traffic through these essentially feluccas, these dolls that float around in the air, sort of like aerial boats. And you were getting ready to follow up on that information when an incident occurred. And the incident involved a poor interaction between Kari and Recusant, in which there may have been a miscommunication or a deliberate miscommunication. It's unclear. In any case, Kyrie headed off to the location of sort of the key local headquarters of the Order of the Pariah. The Order of the Pariah has a public face as a helpful institution, but it also, people are nervous about it. It has representation here on planet, even though it doesn't kind of run things. They have their own system, Zelos, that they've closed down. But Kyrie decided to go to the center of the Order of the Pariah here, their temple, and break in and steal some stuff. And it went very well for Kyrie. Kyrie was able to get in. Kyrie's crewmates, friends, arrived on scene to try and help Kyrie. Recusant was able to produce some fake documentation and identities, and we will make your way into the place where the two groups met up, but also cross paths with a couple of hounds, which are, like Kyrie, psychics who have been chained in some way, trained in some way by the Order of Pariah to hunt other psychics. And we're able to knock out those hounds and then left. And let's see how we put this. Something happened and there was an explosion. And quite clearly those hounds were killed in whatever explosion happened. And we were taking up with the group, having sort of fled away from that, heading up to the location where supposedly the tailor is at. Now, let me ask you, as a player group, we have two ways that we can do this. We can have the captain with you, or we can say that the captain is off, essentially getting things set, getting ready if you guys have to bolt from planet or things like that. What would you prefer me do the setup on that? Any preferences, Sherry? No? Kyrie?
Yeah, maybe have him like Overwatch running the job instead of necessarily being there with us.
Yeah, he is out. He's got his comms unit. He is looking to make sure that the ship can take off at a moment's notice, getting the clearance on that, having to kind of revolve through that, in the queue, and working to make sure that goes well. But he is in communication with you. So let's do that. So this is something I'm curious about. Kala, how are you feeling right now? What's going through your head?
I think she feels just terrible because she didn't check the collars, and she thinks the most likely thing is that those collars were the thing that blew up, either on the priest's command, who was so negative towards the hounds, or that because they were not doing what they were supposed to, or something like that. She's completely uncertain what the thing was, but she didn't check the collars.
Do you say anything about that, or is that something that's boiling inside you?
I think it's just really bothering her inside. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And Recusant, what's your take on all of this? Kyrie having run off, the whole incident, but a successful, apparently, operation against them. What do you think?
I think right now Recusant is trying to put forward like a kind of unflappable sort of facade, but right now what they're thinking is they're gonna have some very short, sharp words with Kyrie once all this is done. And it's they're kind of looking forward to having those words.
Mm-hmm.
But get this out of the way. They're professionals. You should
Fair
get
enough.
this done.
And Kyrie, what's going through your head right now?
I do think it's like looping back over and trying to figure out like where he gave himself away. I know it's sort of obvious from an outside point of view, but he's really disturbed by like these hounds having been there, by something actually tracking him through the dark, which he hadn't really thought about before. I think maybe they'd sent like special ops or like science tracking sort of teams before, and he's not really thought about the sort of signature and wake that his powers might leave.
The other thing being, that you definitely heard that these were some of the hounds. So just to put that out there as a thought. So let's go Catan style. Patrick, tell me, this doll, this floating vessel, and we'll do a quick screen share on my roll for your party picture that no one can see, apparently. Let me do that quickly. Share. So here's what. So you can see that's sort of what they look like, and you can see this is the big facility that you all are headed up to in the sky. So tell me, Patrick, how do you control one of these things? Like what are the controls for it?
I think they're like very. I like the ship-like look of it, and I think they're very strangely like based on sails and rudders and stuff. Even though wind and water currents have nothing to do with how this thing flies.
Yeah, but maybe there's actually like a thing at the back, like you hold to do the rudder and move it up and down.
Like as you engage the throttle, like more of the sail unfolds again, even though there's like no wind pushing this thing.
I like that. Leandro, let me ask you this. This thing is sort of a ways away, but you are by this ocean that you can kind of see in the distance, because this is a city that is on water. Normally, what would be classic in a kind of a seaside thing would be that squawking of gulls that you would hear. Mm-hmm. What is the sound that is comparable to that here?
Cicadas, I'd say. Lots of buzzing, that it's its own kind of squawking, but like you can't tell where it's coming from, and it seems omnipresent, even though it seems like we're floating quite a bit away from the ocean, but it's like no matter how far you go in, there's still that sound. It's like following you.
The idea that we've got maybe these almost like a water beetle cicadas that fly out, buzz around. I don't know how many of you have been in the middle of a cicada swarm. It is crazy. I mean, I a number of years ago, I was outside when there must have been thousands of them flying around, and people were screaming because they were getting in everybody's hair and stuff. It was wild. But yeah, they would hear the noises and the sense that there are different frequencies of these cicadas. Like one song will go up, and then you hear a different song going down, and we have that waveform going there. And Sherry, we've established that this is a pilgrimage place. That pilgrimage is huge. We've seen the markers, the icons. We've seen talismans around, markers everywhere. So, what is the spice that is traditionally associated with the pilgrimage ceremonies and so on, and leaves its smell around, or not even necessarily spice, but scent or something like that? So, what is it that kind of lingers here in the doll and the atmosphere around in the city?
It's actually a spice that's made from flowers, like from the petals of flowers, like roses. And the thing is that the roses grow in all different colors, even on the same bush, kind of like 4 o'clocks do. And so it's in everything. Everything has that taste to it, like jasmine being folded into every dish you have when you're on the pilgrimage and you're going to the pilgrimage restaurants and stuff. But each of the different colors of it have come to be sort of associated with the different icons. And so you will see that, like, if there's a little restaurant that says that it specializes in the dishes of one of the icons, they will have like little dishes with just those petals in their display. and then like everything will be colored that way. And that's one way that if you're following for just one icon, that you can follow a path through the city, going to just those temples if you wanted to.
Oh, nice. Nice. I like that. As you come up towards this factory, you can see that like all of the venting doors and things like that on it are closed. And as you kind of come through the haze here, again, this industrial haze hanging at this particular atmospheric level, you'll see that right now it looks abandoned, and eventually you'll kind of swing around. And the one place where you see anything that looks new or habited is down at the sort of to the lower section. You'll see there's a extended sort of spider dock. There's a small doll that's there, and what looks like maybe a service garage door that's maybe halfway open there. So tell me, what do you do, Kyrie?
We should probably be, I don't know, it would be irresponsible of us to just rush in without checking anything first. So we should probably scout the area.
Would you like to scope it out?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Or do you want to do something else and leave that in someone else's hands?
No, I really do think he feels guilty about this, and so he's trying to act like we're professionals, and we're always professionals, and he's never been anything else. We work as a team because people don't just go off and do things randomly on their own.
100%. Let's have you roll.
You guys. It's a 10.
10.
Minus 1 is 9.
Oh, a 9. So your perception is a little dull. Ask one.
Who's really in control here?
It does look to you like this doll that is attached there. You can see a little bit of the telltale glow that tells you that it was operated recently. And you're pretty sure that someone came here not that long ago, was probably still there, may actually be in there. And it doesn't look like a, okay, this is a single person if the tailor goes back and forth kind of thing. It looks like a little bit heavier, doll. Like there's probably some people who've arrived here on that doll and are probably in there looking around right now. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, there's a group inside. I think they got here just before us.
Mm-hmm. Recusant's looking at the data pad, not looking up.
So maybe we'll be able to rescue the tailor and have some goodwill. That would be excellent. A better bargaining position. Since we don't have the captain, we need a better bargaining position.
Yeah.
I'm not a good person for bargaining. I
But
just want you to know I'm not good
people
at that.
appreciate being saved, so,
Yes.
you know.
Shall we go save him?
Yeah.
Sure.
Together and carefully.
Of course.
Right.
So what's the next step? How do you want to approach this?
Well,
I've got a scanner. I can use that to get a basic sense of where they are and that kind of thing from outside before we dock, see if we can.
So you want to scope it out?
Mhm.
Okay, let's have you do scope it out, and then I'm going to come to recusant.
Okay. I will do that. Let's see, what does this do? Oh, I get to use advantage and a +3. That's a little egregious, but let's
Yeah.
do it.
There's almost no chance that you could fail.
Yeah. So that's a 9 plus 3 is a 12.
So you get 3 questions.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. What here will give me an edge?
You will see you're just at a far enough distance away. You haven't tripped it yet, but they clearly have a couple of small recon drones outside to keep watch.
Excellent. Let's see, what here is not what it appears to be.
You know that there are people in there, but you're not getting positional or life sign information on your scanner, which says to you that they are equipped with very basic, essentially scan block.
Okay. And then let's see here, what is about to, I mean, can I get a scan on anyone in there?
You can tell that there's some anomalies there, but you can't find numbers or things like that.
Okay, so but I'm not like picking up like the tailor who isn't scan blocked or something
Correct.
like that. Okay, and then what is about to happen? Like just from picking up signal stuff from between drone and ship and the anomalies.
You would guess that they're moving around, searching the place. And that is what's going on. And the question will be what their dispensation is once they find what they're looking for or don't find what they're looking for.
Okay. I will relay that to Recusant, who would probably be able to do more with it than I.
Recusant.
Yeah, I think I'm nodding along as I'm hearing that info, and when I'm looking at my data pad, is looking at some dead drops and some informants that I was contacting because, well, we had planned for this job, and I've been spending the day setting up for this, and then got derailed into another thing entirely. But I've been trying to set this up, so I'm gonna roll that move.
Absolutely, let's have you roll that.
Okay, that's a 10.
Look at that. You get 3 questions.
Hell yeah. Where's the target normally located?
What do you mean by target here?
I think we've agreed to the kidnap the tailor plan. So was that too much, or do you want to downgrade it a bit? Because it does sound a bit much.
We might have started with negotiate, and if that doesn't go well, kidnap.
Yeah.
How's that?
I would say that you can tell from what is going on in your setup, and now that you're kind of having a chance to check the site, that you don't think the tailor's on site, but there might be information about where the tailor is on site. Does that seem like a fair answer?
Yeah.
That does give you a better sense of how to proceed.
Yeah, and I know where that information is.
Yeah. Well, you know that it's on site. You have to find it in there, but you would guess that you know that you're skilled enough. If you get in there, you should be able to pick up some trail.
Cool.
What's your second question?
Where are the defenses and security weak? Because we know they've got those kind of like that drone patrol, but is there a hole in their defenses, or at least where we can like poke at it?
Well, I think actually, because they're watching that particular entrance, you could go up to one of the higher level things, and if you could hack it, you could probably open a door in a level above or two, and maybe even off a little ways, and enter in from another location in a way that would keep your doll concealed and be able to move in under a little bit more cover.
Cool. And last thing is, I don't think I have anyone in the inside. That seems probably beyond my resources at the moment. So I'll just ask where their defenses are strong.
They've got those recons, and you're kind of looking at the scanner anomalies, and you will realize that you've seen this pattern of scan block before. It's Order of Pariah and you're guessing at least one or two of them have those animaturg sentient armor on.
That doesn't sound fun. Sentient? Why make them sentient? It seems so cruel.
Not sentient, but like mentally responsive. Like it is linked to the person. It's as close as we get to 40K style armor in here, kind of thing.
Okay, so just like to get the facts straight, yeah, they're not in the lookout. They're not in the middle of doing something right now. They're just on the lookout for intruders.
Well, they are searching the place right now. Is what they're doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and yeah, they've got that scan block. All right. I think I'll also relay that information. Say like, yeah, just how would I say it? I don't know how to say it, but Recusant would point out that best way is through upwards, and we'll find the info. Also, the tailor's not here, at least not on site yet. But we can find out where he is, where they are, once we get in.
How do you wish to proceed? Do you want to wait them out? Do you want to land and make your way inside?
I think how I'll kind of lay it out is, I think I'll put it to the two, because I don't think, actually no, Recusant would feel like taking the reins. That would totally be their deal. I think they're antsy. Oh, no, they wouldn't be antsy. They would be professional. Sorry, I'm trying to sort out this character that I played in 2 sessions, and no, I think they'll put it together. It's like, all right, so we've got a few choices here. We can just go in and get out, or we can wait it out. But that might give them. Either way, it'll give them a chance to detect us. It's just a matter of, do we want to like poke them now or later?
I guess so. If we can get the information about where the tailor is and hide that from them, we don't need to poke them. But if they get it, we probably need to poke them, right? Am I understanding this right? Because I'm not a technical person.
You may want to move the cat away from the mic.
Okay. It's harder than you think.
I know exactly how hard it is.
Or the mic away from the cat, one or the other.
I need like a rope from the ceiling.
Ceiling mic.
Oh, actually, yeah. Well, the problem is we need that mic box for it, which makes the.
But we could hang it like a lamp, kind of thing, right?
Then we just get
Big
shots of the cat
box.
like standing on your shoulders trying to get it.
She absolutely would, and trying to get on top of the box,
Oh gosh,
disaster. So I'm hearing landing and assessing the situation on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think there's a roll needed for that, because you took the time to get that info. To get up there. This place is an abandoned factory. There's no high level security here. There's no mechanisms that are set up as extreme defenses. So you can open like a set of blast doors up top, conceal your doll inside, and find a "you are here" map, and make your way down towards where they are searching. And when you get close, you will definitely see that there are signs that the area that they're in is more recently repurposed. There are the smells and things like that definitely tell you that this is a lab, that it's a workshop that's been set up to do bionic style work. But you can also see that there are a couple of rooms, when you're kind of looking around, doorways and things like that are luxurious, like well-appointed silks and things like that. pictures, the icons on the walls, desks and things like that. Like someone has been living here for a while, in some comfort. And you will see 4 of these pariah personnel in that armor, and a hound. How do you want to proceed? Let's ask Kyrie now.
Damn it. I think it's that sight of the hound. I think Kyrie's like darting his head back and forth, looking for there's probably more of them, like looking around trying to find any sign of someone else hiding. I think he can't see anything, so just, I mean, we're not even doing anything, so it won't even be a thing probably, but just slightly opening himself up to the dark just so he could sense if anyone else is doing anything.
All right, let's have you roll plus weird.
And I think I'm going to call on one of my hooks in that the Order of the Pariah, they know about my powers because they stoked my abilities to life. So, you know, they definitely have methods to track this sort of thing.
Please go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
All right. Just you there, visas, and that.
Yes.
It's an 8.
Look at that. So ask in the dark will answer, but it leaves its mark on you. You suffer 1 stress. And I will ask a question from the dark stares back, but you get to ask first.
What do the hounds have planned for us? Me.
They are looking. They've been tasked to look, and they've been promised treats, rewards, if they can find you, privileges, freedom from pain for a time, those kinds of things. They've been ways to block the darkness for a time. Does that seem fair?
Do I get a sense of any others besides the one?
No, it looks like it's just the one here.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm going to ask you, so in what ways is your mind and soul vulnerable? The dark wants to know. The dark that you've met before in your dreams.
Let's see. I've already given up about recusant. I think I'll take the stress.
Okay.
I think he's being very careful and guarded right now, and as he starts to feel like that connection with the dark starting to pull his own connection wider, like just touching it makes more and more flow back and forth. He gets scared and like rips his mind back from it.
Absolutely. And to remind everybody the mechanic, you can always take stress instead of harm, and some moves generate stress. Stress is hard to clear, but stress also, when you fill that stress track, you get to pick one of your calamities that are listed there.
So that doesn't go off of harm, that goes off of stress.
Yeah. When you fill that up, then you get so a few of them are actually kind of nice, but when you get to a certain point, then you have to retire your character.
I have 4 stress at the moment.
I know. That's why I'm mentioning this. Kala, what do you want to do?
I think that I want to distract them from where they are right now. So I have a thing with where I can do plans within plans. Um, so it seems to me that I would have created something like a little drone or skitterbot or something that I could send going through the plan once we've got inside here and seen the layout to go down and like set up some distraction with signal and that kind of thing to pull them away for
Okay,
a time, just to give us a sense of doing stuff. Um,
absolutely. So let's have you. Um, don't think this is promises. Um,
so it's plans within plans. So I think that's what I would roll.
yeah, let's have you roll that.
So that's I rolled Kyrie's dice. I apologize, Kyrie. So I rolled a 9, add 3, um, and that's 12.
Absolutely. So choose. Your plan will work as described, and you get to pick one from that thing.
Let's see here. I have a trap set up to wait for the perfect moment. So
You've
yeah.
got some kind of trap set up. We'll come back to what that means. I'll let you describe that. But
Okay.
I think the distraction thing, they're clearly looking around like they're trying to find, evidence or a lead or something that's going to lead them to the tailor. They're clearly also looking for them. And you will, send your little skitter bot out towards the front by the dock. And essentially it will go off. It will kind of do some interference and jamming on their drones. And you will see the leader. You can now kind of identify them. Doesn't say anything, but he kind of gestures and he gestures to one of them to keep looking, and he gestures to the other two to follow him. And the three of them head towards the dock to see what's going on. The hound follows them.
Excellent.
Recusant, what do you want to do?
So the way is clear.
Yes. I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute while you tell me what's going on.
Okay. Oh, there. I can see it. It's still happening in the house. Okay. Yeah. So the way is clear. So I think without just any preamble, because it's just gonna lead the way forward, and not even a thank you to Kala. I'm just like no, let's just keep going. And I know the exact not to say that I know where the information is, but I think I have a general idea of where it is. Right. You're still muted.
You know that it's here. You know that you should be able to find some info here, the on this location that it is, but where it is exactly may take a little bit to figure out. I think you will notice. I'll give you this: that you will notice off to one side there's kind of a wash, a kind of an open washroom and bath and so on, and you can see that on the mirror there is something written in lipstick there.
Uh-huh. Well, that's weird enough to get recusant's interest. What does it say in the mirror?
So you kind of move one of your you have the little drones there that you can get kind of into place. And it says, Sirigen, my heart.
Okay. I'm thoroughly confused. I think I'm gonna assume that. Well, what? Can you say that again?
Sirigen, my heart. It has the echo of someone leaving a message to their lover.
Oh God. Okay. Is that a name that would stick out? That I'd recognize, or is it just graffiti?
It isn't a name that immediately trips your memory.
Okay.
I will say.
Okay. Gives my drone to take a picture of it first.
Okay.
For reference.
And you will see this last or the pariah guy as those head off is looking around, and they've kind of tossed the labs and things like that. That's where they've started, like clearly the hard thing. They've worked that. You probably also see that they've set a couple of charges here. And they are moving around, and this guy now is moved kind of into these personal quarters area, and you see beds have been tossed, drawers have been opened. He's looking at the paintings on the walls, and you see him kind of stop at one of those.
Can I move to incapacitate him? Screw his
You may
armor.
absolutely. When you have a target in your sights and they can't do anything to stop you, tell me what that looks like. He's in this sort of, heavier animaturg armor. How do you take him out quietly?
I kind of want to incapacitate him to have a chat with him. So what it looks like is that, Order of Prey have these nice armor, but I've studied them as part of my training. I know exactly where it is, where the armor is like so finely tuned and like so tightened that like if you poke it at like the right places, and they're hard to poke, that's you need to be like really close and knowledgeable, it kind of like goes slack. So what this looks like is like I've told the other two to like, we've heard this guy moving around. I've told them to like stay back, and I'm just and with like ridiculous amount of patience, but I get right behind him and just I think I'm gonna discharge and take out my knife and just like nick him at the right spot, and I think the armor goes slack around him.
Slack and drop, and the sort of psychic feedback will stun him. And you can drop him. You'll realize you have incredibly narrow window because they communicate with one another. Those guys are not that far away. They're going to be coming back here in just a moment. So Kyrie, what do you do?
So I think while Recusant was sneaking to go do that, I've been trying to keep an eye on the other group with the Hound and see what they're up to.
Oh, absolutely. Let's have you. I think that let's have you. I'll let you choose. Well, no, I think this is probably just keep your cool to because you're going to have to move off by yourself, stealthing. And while yes, you have your chameleon suit, I think you'd still need to keep your cool.
It's fine. I'm totally cool. I'm calm. I'm just keeping lookout. Nothing's going wrong here. Oh. So what's that with? Slick?
That is stalwart.
Oh, stalwart. So that's a +1. Good. So that's a 4.
Well, the good news is you get to mark XP.
Okay.
The bad news is that there's so many choices here. The bad news is that I'm going to tell you what that is in just a second, but I want to get Kala's action first. So here's that. I'm going to put that in a little box. While I don't have to use the shelf you made me right here, imagine that I'm putting it right there, all right? Kala, you see Kyrie goes camo to just keep an eye on them to make sure when they're going to come back, things like that, even though you have drones. Kyrie wants to have eyes on them, doesn't trust this.
But I have the drone that's right there with them.
Okay.
So I think what my trap was is that I should be able, with my drone that I would be following them with, essentially essentially lock them into one of the compartments when they get in there. So essentially,
How
like,
about this? I'll
close a
say
set of
that
doors.
that you will close the door from the lab back to this personal area
yes.
that they're going to have to get through. In that case, suffer 1 stress, Kyrie, and take disadvantage forward as you see them kind of start to turn, and then those doors slam shut like right in front of you, and your heart jumps when that happens.
So that's 5 stress.
Yeah, we'll come back to your calamity after this scene.
Kalama, what now?
Calamity. So you figure now that that's been slammed shut, you've probably got 30, maybe 40 seconds of some additional time. They're going to come back to that door. They're going to be able to open it up, just because the systems are pretty basic here. Very, very hard to kind of lock this down. So Recusant, what are you doing?
And I really wish I could read this incapacitated person's mind in front of me, but no, someone else. I need to just make.
Do you want to search the area, or do you want to deal with this incapacitated person?
Well, he's pretty incapacitated. He can stay there for a bit, so I think I'm just gonna search it for now. And like I think I make like several angry gestures at Kyrie and pointing the knife at the guy. But the adrenaline is getting to me, so I'm just gonna try to search the place.
Absolutely. Let's have you roll act quick.
All right. Oh man, why didn't I pick the move that lets me roll this with an advantage?
Because you got the one that let you took this guy out with no worries.
Without any rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, I have to worry now because that's a 5.
That is a 5. Well, I think that you're going to mark a stress. I'm just going to do that as part of my move here. And I think what it is that you're looking around and you're like, oh, I'm an expert. I'm a badass. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to look around here. And Kala steps past you with an exasperated sigh and touches this painting that has 2 middle-aged women kind of standing at each other like they have their fingers out, and she just touches it and the painting fades and you see this safe open up.
Amazing. I don't say that out loud. That's just that's my train of thought.
And Kala, you will see this safe kind of open up, and you can see that there's a traditional tray that you would put beer, like the money, on, that is empty, and there's a message there, and it says, "My dearest Sarajin, if you come, if you hear, I've had to leave Icon City. My past has caught up with me. There's a priest from their very circle that has warned me, who has told me and has given me a way to get out of here. I will never forget our time together. This money I give you is a way for you to get free and leave this world." And then it will cycle and say that again.
And the money has been taken?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will do a thing. I will essentially stop that cycling message.
Okay.
I will erase it from.
All right. Boop. You hit the answering machine and erase it.
Yeah, exactly. And they said there was a priest from their very order, and we've got Serge in my heart. On the other thing, I will do what I can to destroy those hints, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going to assume that you can reach in and pull the circuit from here. Okay.
All right. And let's see here. And then the one thing is, if there's anything I can do, like I'm probably going to, because they're on the other side, probably going to deploy my last drones to get into that lab thing and do. I know that they might not last, but that they're broadcasting back to me as much of the specs of the lab as I can get.
Okay.
Because if we are going to catch up with the tailor, we're going to need a lab for them.
Okay, not
Okay.
a problem. You can get that specs. So Kyrie, the door is slammed shut. You hear them. Discovery. You can feel the sort of unconscious mind of this pariah guy, but then you'll see the classic. We're in a sci-fi movie, so there's those doors that have shut, and then there's the psss as the spark starts at the top of the door, and they start cutting their way through. What do you want to do? We need to get moving unless you want to fight these guys.
Yeah, I want to, should, the different things.
I know.
But there is that like moment of fear and like we're under attack when the doors slam shut. He looks around and just sees Kala sort of like rolling her eyes, I imagine. But Rakusin is over there like angrily pointing at the passed out guy, and Kyrie will, I think, look very ashamed as he rushes over to him and tries to see what he can do.
Just
a slight little mind spike.
Let's have you make your mind spike roll.
I was going to use it to save us from the other guy, but it's fine. I guess I'll interrogate this one. We probably won't be killed by that hound or anything.
Well, Rakusin was asking to interrogate them to find out where the info is, but Kala decided to show them up. So I think now when you rush over to interrogate it, I think Rakusin has now dual 180. It's like, oh, never mind that. It's just there's no point in that anymore, and starts pointing at the door again with the knife.
He still has information that we need to know.
Didn't you get enough info at the temple?
No, nothing close or personal.
Come on, guys, let's go. I want to set these charges off. Do what you got to do.
Kyrie, do you want to?
Probably. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Then roll volatile.
It's you guys who are going to roll much better this time. Oh wow. Okay, that's 13.
That is a 13. On a 10 plus, you push into the psyche, hold 2. So what you can, when you spend hold and choose, they must either submit or take 2 harm.
So yeah, one, what does your character intend to do? And I think related to us more than the tailor.
Nothing. They have no idea about you. This guy, he's here to find the tailor. You, your company, any of that, they have no idea. The hound isn't here for you. They pulled strings to get the hounds here to assist on this operation. They've never heard of you.
Are you saying it might have been not the best idea to use a big psychic power right now?
That's part of what I'm saying. What's your second thing?
Okay. When he wakes up, I want him to order that hound to go basically hunt me down, but by himself.
Template is like hold 2. You just submit. What does it look like when someone resists you? When they take that harm? When this zealot fights against that? What is the physical signs of you inflicting that damage on them?
So I think Kyrie's sort of been like squatted behind him and with like hands on either side of his head. And the first one, like it goes fine. Kyrie looks a little confused, but like satisfied. And I think the second one, the guy starts sort of twitching and thrashing a little bit, and Kyrie gets this like concentrated, distressed look on his brow, and then there's just this like spark of sort of purple electricity static shock from his fingers into the guy's head. He convulses, and Kyrie sort of goes flying back on his ass.
And you hear a crack of something because the animator armor is not moving, but this guy is thrashing inside of it, and he's clearly like broken ribs or something in the convulsing in that armor.
Kyrie just shit. I don't, some sort of programming, mental conditioning. I don't know.
Let me ask you this: do you all want to get moving?
Yeah.
I would like to set the detonator so I can set the charges off as soon as we get the doll up.
Okay. Let me have you keep your cool.
Oh gosh. Okay. What do I roll with keep my cool?
Stalwart, because you are
Okay.
on the move, trying to do this. They're cutting through the doors under some pressure. Let's have you roll with Stalwart.
Comes to a 6.
Comes to a 6. So you're going to suffer a stress.
All right.
And I think that, let me think here. I think that the charge goes off, but doesn't blow it up completely like you'd want it to.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to get out, but you can tell that one of the charges didn't go off. All you've done is delayed them right now in terms of finding this. And the three of you will book upstairs. Kyra, I just want to check: do you murder this guy before you leave?
No.
Okay, that's what
They're
I wanted
right
to know.
there, and he wasn't after me specifically. Yeah.
Okay, that was a good question. Good answer. And I think that the three of you will take on up the stairs, hit the doll, and take off. Even as you can kind of hear the crackling and smell the smoke through here, and we will take our break here. Even as you see the communicator from the patron, the guy who sent you on this mission, is beeping, trying to reach you. But we'll come back to that. Take 5.
been watching an interesting show on Netflix that's sort of in this story space. Not in the sort of like Coriolis cultural thing, but it's called Dark Matter, and it sits sort of somewhere between Firefly and Farscape.
Is that the one where they wake up with amnesia?
Yeah, it's 6 people and an android who wake up on a ship with no memory of who they are, but they find the ship is full of like tons of weapons, and they are very deadly and skilled people, sort of instinctually. And so it's about them trying to figure out who they were and what happened. It's interesting.
It's pretty clear that Killjoys and Dark Matter and Firefly are very, very much the 3 inspirations for Impulse Drive.
I can see that.
I'm pretty sure that the Bounty Hunter, well, and Cowboy Bebop a little bit, because the Bounty Hunter is a corgi, animated, anthropomorphic corgi. Rich does not care for that.
It's amazing.
It is kind of amazing. So you are sailing away, heading through the air. We can hear that buzzing of those cicadas, and the smell in the air, and you will get that beep, 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 beep.
I'll answer.
Who is this? That voice that you recognize as the person who hired you, Iskander.
Sir, it's Colin.
So, do you have a status report for me?
Taylor seems to have left, but we have a sense of where they might have gone.
Well, to give me more details.
And we'll tell them about the ship that it was on, that I captured the specs of the lab, that there were some others hunting for them, that we captured the information on where the Taylor was going. I wait to see if he asks about who else was looking.
He goes, someone else is looking for them?
They were dressed like the pariah.
Pauses, like this is clearly like surprising to him.
I assume that the Taylor is rogue. Yes.
He seems genuinely flummoxed. I'm uncertain. What is the information that you have that might? No. Come and meet me in about an hour. I have a private doll, and see him pause, like clearly he's going to have to tell somebody that he doesn't want to tell something about what's going on. And he's like, meet me in an hour. And his sort of level of arrogant sort of pushing has gone from 10 down to about a 2.
Okay. Very well. Make arrangements and plan to be there. Gives us time for some lovely desserts between now and then, though.
Yeah, you can certainly ditch this rented doll for another one. Standard operating procedure. And you can walk around in the market for a few minutes. What is the local dessert of choice?
I think a pastry with that's like lots of layers, and then essentially it's always like cut into one of the symbols of the icons. And then they each have like a different syrup that's poured over them, of course, with the different flower petals is one of the flavors, but then also how sweet or salty the syrup is based on the icon. So there's sort of like all different kinds of, and maybe other spices go with it too. So
I like that. Recusant, you have a few minutes if you wanted to have a conversation with Kyrie.
Ah, gosh. I think Recusant was hoping to have this conversation in private. This is a bit out in the open. So instead of, I think they probably bought the same drink, dessert Kyle has, and it's kind of like idly poking at it, just thinking and thinking out loud, this is a bit idolatrous to be eating the icons.
not at all. We
Huh.
breathe them with every breath. We consume them with every bite.
Huh. Well, if they're not, well, would they be offended if I like chose a different layer to eat first, just because this one happens to be a bit thicker and less
Look into your
syrupy?
heart.
Funny. Most people seem to think I don't have a heart, so I don't know where I'd even look. Eyes flick towards Kyrie.
Perhaps you should do the pilgrimage to find it.
I've not properly paid my respects to the icons. Yes, that sounds like a terribly good idea. Which one would you recommend?
She sort of stops and she goes, I think for you, you should begin with the dancer.
Why do you think so?
Because she's attuned to your most positive side, and she says that carefully.
Excuse me, ma'am. I don't mean to interfere, but if you're speaking of this, that the dancer is particularly regarded. Well, here on Mira, one of the two great statues depicts the dancer. So what your friend says is true. The dancer is a good place to begin. But I pardon me for intruding.
What? No. Don't be too abashed. No, I would appreciate a finer, detailed breakdown on this one's appreciation with the dancer.
Well, I can tell you about my cousin who recently did, and this person will begin to talk about the pilgrimages, the lengths and shortness of time, or lengths of them, the ones that honor the dancers and so on.
I think I'm gonna try to interrupt and say I prefer to have this conversation probably over there in the corner, and then deliberately leaving Kyrie.
Oh yes. And the person will walk with you and speak with you, clearly concerned that you arrival and you haven't thought about what pilgrimage you want to do and wants to help you out. Kyrie, what do you do? What are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm feeling rather calamitous for one.
What calamitous is it?
So many of these calamities just describe what's already happening, which is sort of interesting. It says something about our state sometimes, or at least mine. But I think I want to try and push on one of them. So you hear news of someone in the system who shares your past, a survivor or fellow experiment. I'm wondering if there's a way we could push a connection, personal or psychic, with that hound. On this sort of something that pushes Kyrie into the mode of wanting to save this person rather than being terrified of them.
Yeah, we established that you reached into the dark, and you can tell that they are not, they are held by force and by push and by coercion. and you have the sense that not all of the hounds are held that way, but this one definitely. And you can feel, I mean, you know that they are returning back to the greater body of the hounds here, and that you have a connection to them, and you know that eventually they're hunting you, so you'll probably cross paths again. Does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm.
What's their name?
Terrible person. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm just trying to increase your trauma.
Amit.
Amit. We will cut to the doll. It is beautiful, stately, and very well appointed. And it's the while it's not marked as belonging to the Chelebs Manau family, it definitely feels like that. And you will come up beside to park, and you can see a person who is clearly a major domo here is waiting for you, and he looks as you arrive and opens his hand in greetings and says, "I am Shahud. Please come with me. My master would ask for some more information on what you found out specifically. We apologize for the irregularity of this reportage in. As I understand, a job like this normally would be given free movement, but we may be able to provide you with some additional information." And he will bring you inside. You can see some of those bodyguards that you saw yesterday. They are dressed in more sort of Janissary style armor and things, and you will come in and you will see, who was it who was with the captain? Was that you, Sherry? Yeah, it was you. You will see Master Iskander there, and he's looking nervous. He definitely has like a vid tablet up, and includes a third party, listening to the conversation. And he gestures. He says, "What Kala was it?" And kind of doesn't even ask your companions' names,
Okay.
but come and sit. It almost looks to you like maybe in the time since you've last seen him, his hair has gone a little more gray. So you said that the Order of Pariah was looking into this?
Yes.
And tell me what else we know about the situation.
And they will run him down. It's Kala. She's naive. She has no sense of people who she's working for being with bad intent. So she's particularly clear and complete, and she has scans, and she gives them over.
He looks over this, and he's like, "Ugh. This is..." And he says, both to you and clearly to the person on the vid thing, "I knew that she was talking to a priest. This must be what has happened. There is a priest named Samakar. He has been affiliated with our family indirectly. And he kind of turns to the screen. He goes, "We spoke with the maid, and she indicated that this is the priest who had spoken with her." He says, "I suspect that this priest Samakar is the one who pushed the tailor to leave."
All right.
He typically can be found. He is of a particularly mendicant order, I guess I wish to say. He can typically be found at the statue of the dancer.
Uh-uh. Oh, well, that's good. And she looks at Makusin. Um, and then she sort of says, and what did he understand that you were looking for? The tailor?
See him pause. He looks at the screen. The situation is complicated. Yes, he would have known that we were looking for the tailor, and he would not. The situation is complicated from there.
It is. I just wondered if we would be coercing Samakar for information or if he would be willing to give it to us. Two different kinds of engagement, so to speak.
Samakar belongs to a priestly order that I believe is devoted to nonviolence and doing no harm and truth. So I don't believe that you will have to coerce him, but you should feel free to.
Thank you.
No, that's not enough. Complications or no, we need more than that. Samakar is some pacifist priest. Well, the Order has sent their most militant inquisitors and hounds to look into this. Screw your complications and screw your secrecy. If we're going to live through this, we need to know what's going on. And as I rail against authority, I want to spend one of my points of darkness.
Sure.
And someone, up to you, is frightened or cowed.
And he does, he's as much as it's like you push on his reaction to whoever is watching over, he says, I had no idea that the tailor was pursued by other forces. We had no idea that the tailor was pursued by other forces. We knew that they were in secrecy, but that is as far as we knew. The Order of the Pariah being involved in this, but it's not to be expected. I don't know why they would involve with this. This is not their matter. The forces arrayed in this situation have nothing to do with their political actions.
Maybe before you blithely say that there's nothing more we need to know, you should consider that if we go down, the Order is definitely coming for you next.
And you will hear a woman's voice say, "Young man, that is not going to happen. My son has indicated to you that we were not aware of this situation. We would still very much like to have the tailor found and brought to us safe and sound, such that we might be able to utilize their services. And then we will make sure that the tailor is able to move on from here in safety. I will be looking into why the Order of Pariah is involved, but it is my suspicion that this priest may have also given information that has found its way that the tailor is here. Someone has leaked it, and very clearly she is a refugee from their order. Not something I was completely aware of. There were some suspicions. Now, I apologize for the complications, but as I understand it, you're being paid quite well to handle those complications. My major domo will see you out. If you do not wish to continue with the contract, that is reasonable. Miss Ba?
He communicate to the tailor that you would protect her from the Order of the Pariah if she returns?
Yes.
Thank you. That should help with negotiations.
If you continue on with this, I will consider this a personal favor to me.
And at that point, I stand up and I say, that would be a great payment. And I will look at Kyrie in the eye significantly, hoping this one time that he will understand that this is important.
What's that? Flip the desk and burn everything on the way out? No, I think Kyrie, he's obviously going to say more, and he starts to lean forward and just like catches sight of Recusant on the other side, and from the look on his face, maybe physically bites down on his tongue, and will get up and like stiffly follow you.
The major domo is waiting for you, and he says, do you have any needs? Things you might require before you head out?
And she sort of stops and she goes, it would be extremely helpful if we could have, she goes, and then she sort of stops and goes, we may need some permissions to do a jump if we have to leave. I may call upon you for some help.
I will see about getting a queue placement readied such that you can travel quickly when you are done with this situation. My mistress, Dramora Chelebsmanau, will, as she has indicated, will consider your efforts here a personal favor if this is handled in a professional and discreet manner.
Thank you.
Unrelated to this case, I was wondering if you or any of the lady's contacts knew of a trustworthy PI local in the area.
I could put you in touch with a finder who has worked with the family in the past.
Thank you.
I will send that information to the comm that you are using.
I would appreciate it.
And he will nod as he sees you very pleasantly to your doll. And within 5 minutes, there's that beep of a text. He's very on it and professional and sends you a name.
And I think as we like get back to the doll, Kyrie, he'll like fall into his seat sort of loosely and put his head down in his hands, and like he's shaking and sweating. He just mutters, that's very hard to, it got close in there, but see, I can stay controlled. I can keep things under wrap.
This place seems really stressful for you.
The order is really stressful for me. Talking about them and continually poking into their business is... I have a hard time dealing with that sort of stress.
Perhaps you should not poke into their business unless we absolutely need to.
Well, we seem stuck on a collision course with them at the moment, don't we?
And she kind of goes, I think you should unstick yourself.
There are things buried deep enough that you can't just pull them out.
What do you need? And she does sit next to you. She goes, I don't understand what you're doing. It's really hard to help you. It's like I'm trailing behind and throwing things at you, just hoping that they'll be the helpful things you need, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm trying to stay safe. I'm trying to keep us safe, but every corner we turn around, there's more of them. It's always more of the Order. And they're hounds, and that was supposed to be me in the black, chasing down other people. I managed to get out, but not everyone else did. The Order are zealots, but they're hounds. Their hounds are just tortured creatures.
Okay. Then I will work to figure out those collars.
You see Kyrie rub at his neck when you mention the collar.
And she goes, and perhaps you might consider looking to the other icons for a way forward.
There's only ever been one that's answered me.
How many have you petitioned?
He goes to answer and then sort of shuts his mouth. What would you suggest?
She considers, and she does it very seriously, much like she did with recusant. Like, this is super important to her. And I think she stops and she goes, I think the first one really is the Lady of Tears. Something in you is terribly wounded.
Tears have never helped before. But you have.
That's sweet. She'll hit you in the heart. And then she's like all blushy and everything.
I'll try it this once, I guess.
Good.
Just don't make a big deal of it.
I won't. She points out as you're walking down the street all the pastries that are that color. Doesn't that look good?
Better faith you're baking.
Yes.
I think that'll touch my Heart of Glass move.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And that actually went well. So I'm gonna move Darkness and mark an XP.
Look at you.
Which is just in a meta sense in that meeting what I was trying to do and what Kyrie was trying to do of bleed off that darkness in a useful way. Because through the course of this, I'd worked myself up to one away from exploding again. I was like, oh crap, this is just going to be a cycle unless I do something.
No, it was really effective. That was awesome. So.
I liked it. We're going to cut forward a little bit. I'm going to kind of hard frame us forward. And we will cut to you having arrived, having asked questions, and eventually find your way up onto the statue of the dancer, the enormous figure, 3 arms, an unusual presentation of her. And I'm going to share a picture with you if I can find it here. Yes. So that is a shot to kind of give you a sense of the scale. There are things built alongside the statue, and there are people that are working on it. And eventually, someone will direct you to where Samankar is direct you to this old, very emaciated priest who is seated cross-legged on the palm of the dancer, meditating. He has clearly something has happened, like you're not sure if it's a chemical thing or a biological thing or an infection or something like that. He has hair that's kind of spiky, but it's very much in patches, like sort of white shocks of patchy hair, and then sort of almost sort of scaly skin in between, like some kind of dermatological condition or something. And he is seated there very calmly as you approach, and he, you can see that the three of you are coming towards him, and he will say, "Well, hello." The
And
blessings upon you three.
thank you. Are you the one known as Samakar?
I am this old man, this shell of a man is Samakar. That is who I am as I sit here and wait. And who might you three be?
And she goes, I am Kala. I seek the tailor.
I see. I see.
I have it to understand that you urged the tailor to leave.
Yes. Yes, I did. Very much so.
Where did you ask the tailor to go?
I suggested that the tailor leave as soon as possible, that they go. One of the things being is that, of course, places would be watched nearby. So I found them a place aboard the Golden Harvest.
Golden Harvest.
It is a rail-borne pilgrimage that heads out, a train that is out moving. She accepted. It's easy to hide there. It's guarded by warrior nuns of the order, and it would arrive at the Pilgrim Sarai, and she would be able to take a discreet ship from there and leave planet.
Where would that ship be going?
That I could not say. I do not know that, and as I am committed to the truth, that is what I provide. So I'm afraid I cannot say. May I ask why you are asking?
Mm. And she sort of stops and goes, we encountered some of the Order of the Pariah looking for the tailor, and we're concerned for her safety.
Well, you do not need to be concerned. She will be leaving, and she should be safe then. All is well. It is unfortunate the Order of Pariah found that she was here on the planet.
It is. And she goes,
And your others, your fellows, do they speak as well? I just wish to know their names.
and I go, they can give them to you as they wish. And she sort of smiles over at them because clearly it will be repeated. So it's like,
I am with Kala. I seek her safety.
And you, young lady?
I think my eyes are not at them, but around them, just to be sure.
And he says, though I may be incorrectly speaking your gender, I am uncertain.
Well, I can't say I'm that certain myself as well. Call me recusant.
We are well met then, recusant. Well, I hope that I have assured you that the tailor is safe and there is no need to worry or pursue.
Kella's like, did I miss asking anything? She goes, did you give the tailor any other instructions?
What do you mean instructions?
I guess advice for her safety.
I advised her to leave. I spoke with her of the prophecy, and that was the reason that I thought that she should go as well, beyond the matters of her safety.
Which prophecy is this? There are so many. She goes, I am saddened that I do not know of which you speak.
Well, I am a priest that still ascribes to the Lad Algira, the end of times prophecy. And as you may know, and as you can see from the physicality near you, you can see the arms of the dancer here, the 3 arms of the dancer. It is said that there will be 2 figures that will come to help us and protect us in the end times. One of them will be a speaker, a representative of the dancer, and she will be known by her 3rd arm, which is the statue, represents that. There is more to it, but it has a great deal of a bit doctrinal changes and so on. Obviously, the judge is the other figure. The judge is across from here, and now we have the emissary that has come and called itself the incarnation of the judge. And while some, like the Order of Pry, might disagree with that, I believe that given that we have the representative of the judge and the representative of the dancer, then these, we may be seeing the prophecy coming. Take a drink.
So you believe that the tailor will be the one who brings to you the dancer?
No, exactly the opposite.
I do not follow. Please tell me what you are.
You think she's a danger to the dancer?
Yes, yes, you have it. We have it right. Yes, Lady Chelebs Manau. The family has a daughter that they have hidden away called Shamisa. She is a pious member of the family, and she was touched by darkness at birth. She possesses a 3rd arm. I have secretly been her confessor for some time, speaking with her on things. When I found out recently that the family was looking for the tailor to remove that 3rd arm such that she could be wed, and I could not let that happen, and I abhor violence, so I had to go and tell the tailor and make arrangements for her to leave, so that this.
Did you lie to the tailor?
No, I did not. I would not lie to the tailor.
So you told the tailor that she was being sought.
I may not have told the tailor all of that. I told the tailor that there were people seeking her, and that presented a danger to her.
And she sort of stops and goes,
I do have some fear that my asking, as I have, may have raised some attention.
there is that. It is unfortunate when one litigates the truth, is it not?
I hope that I have not. If I have, that is a stain upon me, and the judge will see to my soul,
She goes,
such as it is.
this is the prophecy. The tailor is no danger to it.
I disagree with you.
And she goes, thank you for the truth that you have given us.
Be well.
She will leave Bera. She'll leave that very ceremonial amount that is a thanks for their wisdom. And then she will step away. She won't expect the group to follow her, but she will step away.
Kyrie, recusant, do you say anything to this priest?
No. Stare at him. Get up, silently turn.
You don't mind spike him?
Oh, right. I haven't. No.
No need.
And now I should ask you again, do you murder him before you leave?
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Tied into that, I don't want to mind spike him because I'm trying to be a responsible Kyrie. But can I try and, over the course of this conversation, have scoped him out to
Yeah, absolutely.
deal with anything?
That seems like a really good idea.
Well, I mean, it's a terrible idea. I'm very bad at it.
Also, you have disadvantage forward that we didn't take last time.
Ruh-roh. What for?
Remember you got that from the keep your cool roll? We gave you the stress, and we didn't apply the disadvantage on that other roll.
Gotcha. Ah, I see. Gotcha. Okay. That one too, then. Well, that's a 4, but if it makes anyone feel any better, it would have been a 6 without the disadvantage. So
I think that we will see the camera kind of pan up above you as you're watching him, and we can see the micro drone that has been listening in on the conversation.
no.
Recusant?
So in fiction, would I have noticed that?
No.
Or no? No. Okay, that's cool. I think
unless you want to scope it out and.
No, I think all this talk of religion is something they had deliberately turned away from. I mean, they left a holy sect of assassins. So as far as they're concerned, they've kind of done their job. So, kinda. And I honestly, this priest being so pious was enough of a wall for accusing to be like. So as soon as Kala seemed satisfied, I would have turned around and followed her.
Okay, the three of you can make your way back down the statue. Where do you go from here?
Fastest way to that destination.
Call the captain up, and get that info to him. And
since we have the queue.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, get back to the ship, and we'll check out, find out about this. You will check. The Golden Harvest is an enormous kilometer-long train, multi-tiered. It runs along these great pilgrimage tracks. Pilgrims sign on to it. It begins at the station, and it has a couple of stops. It is distinctly, how do I put this, rude, and even considered sacrilegious to join onto the pilgrimage once it's already started. just so you have a sense of that.
So it's not like we can go like and put ourselves on the train is what you're saying.
Not in a legit way unless you have some other way. I mean, you might be able to manipulate, push your way on, like, but you're going to have to be careful, I think is what I'm going to say, because it's already in motion. It's already on the tracks.
Like we've ever done things in a legit way.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Could we look into it enough to find out like what we could do to blend in? Like, is it what makes people stand out as outsiders on the train? Is it a very small group, or are they all wearing the same thing, or do they have like corporate name badges?
So it is a pilgrimage train, and typically people will be wearing pilgrimage outfits. They will probably be some kind of ID badge that probably won't be checked on the train unless something untoward occurs. The warrior nuns there probably aren't checking people's tickets or things once they just left the station. But so conceivably, you could, get a ship and try and do a quick pass by and drop onto it in a train job style thing silently, or you could try and work some way to arrive and try and make some kind of excuse or something. I'm certain that the wealthy and the influential can probably get their way on something like this. Here is what the train looks like, because I love this picture.
Oh,
Wow.
it's a lot of train.
Yeah, so it's a massive like building, sprawling building, with sidewalks, and it's like the cruise liner train.
What sort of speed is it? Is it like locomotive or like bullet train or?
No, it's definitely a locomotive. So maybe 30, 40 miles an hour, maybe getting up to higher speeds at straightaways, that kind of thing. And it probably slows down, a good hour before it has to stop, kind of.
And the clothing that is worn, are people wearing like the clothes of a particular icon, or is it like a all icons kind of thing, and you're wearing like the cruise outfit or something like that, like everyone's got the Golden Harvest ensemble?
The Golden Harvest was originally started by one of the agricultural families, a senior scion of one of those, as a way of thanking the icons for the blessings of harvest. And so it is a train that covers all the icons. It's a very lovely, well-appointed general pilgrimage, to hit the great sites on that. Wealthy families will buy suites on here when they want their families to go on pilgrimage. Some of the places on the back half probably aren't even occupied because they have their private cars and maybe they don't have somebody.
Okay. So essentially then, in order to do this right, we would have to stop and do a quick pilgrimage at all the previous stops and then join, or it would be just terrible, right?
It would certainly upset you.
Yes.
I mean, we could lie to them and say that we'd done that part.
No.
Wow. Lie too far, huh?
I mean, breaking in under false pretenses and trying to find and take someone, that's fine. But lying to them.
Lying about
the icons would be terrible. Let's do it.
Who doesn't mind? Who wouldn't mind a little heresy every now and then?
Yeah.
Just love the idea of a montage scene of stopping at all these like empty spots, and the two of us just getting more and more exasperated behind Kala.
I'm
Yeah.
praying as fast as I can.
And I think we'll see that. Are you talking to Chelibsma now? Are you telling
Yes.
them what's going on to keep them informed?
Yep, absolutely. And there is every chance that this will be communicated to our good friends.
Says the major domo will say the Chelibsma now rooms are currently unoccupied on the train. I will send along documentation tickets for you so that you can enter in if you wish to present yourselves in that way. But as you know, it may be considered disrespectful, and the warrior nuns may turn you away.
If we stop at the other stops,
That will rely on your ability to communicate your needs to them.
okay. And I think that she'll take those tickets, if nothing, essentially the Chelibsma now, if nothing else, to give them a place to go to if they drop onto the train.
Recusant, what does the prayer outfit that people are going to be wearing, what does it look like?
I definitely think it's probably flowy. It's a kind of flowing sort of material. It's the kind that like makes you look big, even when you're standing, even while you're lanky. I'm imagining it's somewhat impractical, big shoulder pads.
Okay.
Ensure that you always look large, and flowing as much as possible.
Absolutely flowing, so you look like you're from the 80s. Shoulder pads and all that.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie, what is the other sort of requirement or gesture or thing that goes along with being on this pilgrimage? Is it, mark on the forehead? Is it artificial henna? Is it a particular food? Is it fasting? What is the other element of this pilgrimage?
I think it's this like they're stopping at all these sites along the way, so I think it's this like wreath or like crown of flowers, that they're particular flowers that grow at each of the sites. So that sort of would be our proof coming up to it that we had stopped at the other ones, that we come with this like half-made crown.
Oh, I like that very much. And we've established the flowers as an element with the scents and so on earlier. And Mira is a planet of wild flowers that happen here. Sherry, what was the last station? What was the last icon that you have to stop off while Kyrie and Recusant sit in the car going, ugh?
The gambler.
Okay. And what kind of flower represents the gambler?
It's a sort of flat open flower with lots of petals on it. The thing is that it has a stem with thorns on it. So the whole thing is about picking it, and whether, like, when you go to pick it, whether you end up being hit by the thorns or not. So do you bleed or do you not? It's good luck to bleed, but so a lot of people do it on purpose, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to just pick the flower naturally.
Are you going to pray to the icons on your ship?
Sure. Yes.
So you may roll with advantage or roll with weird.
Right now? Okay. Let's see here. I guess I don't know, advantage, and it just doesn't matter. How about I roll with advantage because I've been immersing myself in the icons as much as I could at this point.
Roll 3d6 and tell me what you
Okay.
get.
Let's see. I get an 11.
The icons favor you. As you do this gesture, you push through, you make your group do this, and you honor those traditions, and you can feel something in your head that makes you believe. And so you've got 2 of the icons that you've prayed to that will give you advantage. Okay. Or you can hold 2 and do the same icon twice. Tell me at least one of the icons that you pray to.
The dancer,
Okay.
because I took that truth. Does
Okay.
that make any sense?
Absolutely. That is act quick. I'll point out that the merchant is for manipulation. Recusant, I assume you don't pray.
No, not really. Yeah. It's oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go to, yeah. Why don't you pray?
Look, I'm not the only. Kyrie's not the one running away from something. I'm just less obvious about it.
Fair enough. Kyrie, do you commune with the icons?
I think definitely, absolutely not until we get to the Lady of Tears one.
Okay.
And I think maybe Kala like gives him a look on the way out, or he very much imagines that Kala is giving him a look on the way out, one or the other. And he like sits there and taps his foot for a minute, and then just very ostentatiously not looking at Recusant, like gets out of the car and goes and like kneels like a dozen paces away from Kala. This isn't because of you. We're just both doing this at the same time for totally unrelated reasons.
You're not the priest to me. Let's, you can roll with your weird or with advantage, because you have essentially, you guys said you're taking the ship, so we consider you have that advantage from your chapel.
Oh, I gotcha.
Otherwise, you would be rolling flat.
I'll do weird.
You're certainly weird enough for this.
It's true. Wow, it's an 11.
So you can hold 2.
I'll hold one on the Lady of Tears, and
Okay.
we'll see about the other.
All right. Absolutely. So the ship is, is moving along. It's larger than the shuttles thing. It would normally be coming to like drop people off. There is like a little landing deck on the front thing, but essentially your captain has to come get close and match velocity with the train and kind of sync to that. And there's this big tower with this crosswalk there that they'll open the hatch up for you, and you sort of immediately get that humidity of the area around here, the sort of green area, kind of heat hits you, but it's also got that 30-40 mile an hour wind that is kind of whipping across, and you're up high. There's this rickety gangplank you're walking across. It's kind of shaking even as you're doing that, and the wind is hitting you, and you can see that there is a warrior nun scowling clearly in disapproval as you come across here, and she says, and imagine that this is being done very loudly over the sound of the wind, the what is going on? But she says, what is your needs? We had indications that that you were coming. I will now take a drink.
You muted, Jerry. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Kala would love it if someone else were to speak to this, because she is very shy around these warrior things. But if no one else wishes to take the thing, I will do this. So,
Let's roll with slick.
okay, I will call upon the, gosh dang it,
The merchant.
merchant, yes, and ask for their help.
All right.
And then that gives me a +1 or an advantage?
That means that it will. You may roll with advantage.
Okay. All right. And then I'm adding slick, which is like my weakest. Come on. It gives me a 6. That's
Would
my best.
Would someone like to support her action?
I would.
Then roll
Yes.
with stalwart.
The least religiously inclined, but absolutely good at
Oh,
bullshitting.
actually, I'm sorry. Lean on me
Oh,
has to
it's
be done.
after. Yeah, it has to be before the roll. Yeah, I was wondering why you were...
There is no help. You can tell that this woman is going to turn you down. She is about to tell you to get back on your ship, that this is highly irregular, even for the Chelibs-Manow family. She clearly has a chip on her shoulder, and she's about to say
Mind
that.
spike.
Oh no.
Please roll with volatile. By the way, Sherry, get to mark an XP.
Oh, that's right. I
Woo.
just leveled.
Let's see, you and also you. It's a 9. Nah. So I get to know her surface thoughts.
She's like, these icon. I mean, the Chelibs-Manow, they exploit the land, they exploit the people, and now they wish to push using their influence. You know, perhaps they had come on an earlier thing. It might be more, but we are far enough along the pilgrimage that this can only pollute the spiritual purity of our pilgrimage if I let them on board.
How? Yikes.
Since we were on the ship, does that mean we refresh all our gear and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Okay. Then if that's the case, is there something I can do to push and try?
Oh, and
Oh.
Kyrie, the other thing you'll get is, and we've already let that other group on.
Oh. There's some other group already here. I don't actually whisper. It's sort of like a normal talking voice, but the wind, I guess.
Right. And you have some vocalizers, I assume, through your comms, that kind of thing.
And then I think that I'll look at her when I hear that, and I will say, I know that you allowed another group on. One of the passengers' lives is in danger. Please, we are here to protect her. And I hold out the crowns, which I'm guessing that other group did not bring.
You're changing up the stakes. Okay. I will tell you what.
What?
Mark 2 stress.
I'll do that. I'll cry in front of this.
Wow.
Mark 2 stress, and I will allow someone to help you, and then you may roll manipulate again.
Okay. All right.
Who has a good stalwart?
Who does have a good stalwart?
Got an okay stalwart.
Yours is better than mine.
And I think as Kyrie's, I think as Kyrie's sort of like muttering under his breath about that whole push not working, he changes it into a prayer and is like, pretending that he's just been praying this whole time out loud behind Kala, and sort of letting the warrior nun hear that now, so that we're obviously very pious and very truthful.
All right.
So help adds +1?
Nope, it adds advantage.
Okay.
And let me see. So that's stalwart, and I'm gonna call on the other icon blessing there with the traveler
Okay,
to aid and lean on me.
nice. So roll with advantage with stalwart.
Never. Oh my, that's
Oh
a 12.
my. Awesome.
So you aren't pushed to your limits. She may clear stress, and you give her advantage. Look at that.
Nice.
Share.
All right. Come on, dice. All right. So the dice now hate us.
I will say that you will have to take another stress
Okay.
for this to work.
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay. And she will let you through, but you can tell that the weight of the icons are on you, that if you disrupt or harm the pilgrimage, then the icons will turn their face away from you.
Lol.
And you will head down into the train. It is packed through here. You know, the fronts are the more public carriages. You know, people there with small compartments or big areas. The back are the private things. Recusant, I'm going to ask you how you track down the tailor.
Right. We don't have like a physical likeness of them, right? Or
Yes, you do.
we?
It was in the
Oh.
painting.
Cool. Oh yes, that was the painting. Yes. So I will deploy my micro drones then.
Okay.
Cover as much space as possible.
Let's have you roll
That's with
your microdrones move.
That's with calculating. That's a 9. Dice don't hate me yet. So I hold
Yeah.
2.
By the way, sure, you still get to mark that XP. So hold 2. What do you want to do with the hold?
I guess I'm gonna spend one right now to like remotely spy on just like locations I can't reach. Just map out the train as quickly as possible.
Oh, absolutely. You will be able to get a map of this place, and I assume your other hold is to locate the tailor.
Yeah.
Then I think you will absolutely see back at one of those private cars in the back that there are a group of unarmored, clearly to your mind, Order of Pariah people, including a assassin. And
God.
they have dragged the tailor there.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna No, I'm not gonna break off running. I think I'm just gonna very quickly show the two the image and then break off running.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of hit the ground floor of this, and Recusant takes off. Kyrie and Kala, what are you doing?
Okay, so if this is a thing that we're doing quick, then I guess that I will follow. I am thinking as hard as I can as I go.
Okay, so we see the montage. Tell me, what are you doing, Kyrie?
I think as we start to run, I'll just whisper to Kala that I'll be within shouting range, and I'm gonna try and activate my chameleon suit and like slip through the crowd as they're, I imagine, making a bit more of a bustle with running through.
That seems easy enough to do. I don't think you necessarily have to roll for that, unless you want to at some point. Here, we'll come back to that though. Recusant, tell me, as you run through, we see the train montage. What's one obstacle you have to kind of get past to get back to this car at the back?
Don't you just hate it when there's like a pilgrim group that's taking their sweet time through this corridor? You know, there's like they're just chatting.
They're kind of packed into the hallway. They're in a hotel, like in a hotel hallway, and they're all kind of packed in, and they're chatting, and they, they've got some kind of kumbaya song that they're doing in a rondo, and you have to kind of push your way past them, kind of rudely, and what for you, Kala, is an obstacle that you have to overcome?
Oh, I think that I take sort of like when Rakusa is going down one side of the car, I'm going down the other one, and I get caught behind like essentially a group of children who are doing a very traditional little like prayer dance thing, and all of the adults are gathered around and everything, and you have to stop if the kids offer flowers or something to you and give them an answer. And of course, she gets caught as she's sort of going by and has to, essentially read off one of the verses for the thing. So she has to stop and very politely and very respectfully read off this verse. So for the dancer. So it's kind of like,
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, the irony.
And Kyrie, what, even invisible, what is the physical obstacle or other obstacle that you hit trying to get back here ASAP?
I think it's another group of the like people worshiping the dancer, and it's just this big, like, there's this giant sort of dancing yoga kata type group sort of doing a class across the entire width of the train, and it's this like trying to figure out which forms they're going through to try and dodge between them without them like starting to punch the invisible person.
I like that. I also like that we've referenced the dancer a lot. That's clearly the icon that's coming up. And the three of you will get back, following the drone. I imagine Mercusant, there's the sort of the double vision of your personal vision and then the vision of the drone, and them kind of getting closer until it kind of syncs up, and you can open the door to one of these private compartments that they've, these private, beautiful prayer areas with tiles and rugs and things like that. And, it's set up, and you can see there's one of these three that is close by the door. You'll see the other two, they have the tailor pushed down. They are kind of reading out the litany of assassination, and getting ready to apply the mercurium knife to the throat. And there's this guy that spins around when you open that door.
Do I recognize the assassin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You trained with him.
Of course. What's his name?
His name is, I've got my little list here. Her name, sorry, is Ashur Narai.
So I think I'm going to call out her name then.
And that will bring her up short. And I think that will effectively hold this for the moment as you shout that out. Kala, what do you do? Since you're kind of also visible as this tableau goes on. Take a drink.
like, I know that Mecernium knife is only another second from coming back down after the shock, and I think I impose myself in the middle. I'll
Act quick.
Okay, I will do that then. And what is that
Okay.
based on?
Slick.
Oh,
Could I lean on by having gotten their attention?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. In fact, I won't have you roll because we call it an old thing. So I will say that calls and gives advantage to her slick roll.
all right. If only I were good at slick. Okay, I got 7.
You
take it.
got a 7.
Yes.
You choose one of those
Okay.
from Act Quick.
All right. I'll take a stress.
Okay.
This is pretty much the theme of this thing is working.
Absolutely. You throw yourself in the way such that when the Necurium knife comes down, it stabs you.
Yay!
3 harm.
All right.
Kyrie, you kind of come around. None of them see you, but you'll see that knife plunge into Kala.
I'm gonna run the woman. They had her like strapped down or held down or what?
Essentially on her knees in a position of supplication while they performed the litany.
Like voluntarily or scared or?
No, like physically forced her down.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and while Kala has the assassin distracted, I'm gonna try and like they're grappling.
Better knife.
They're grappling over her dagger. Just the one of them's less efficient than the other. I'm gonna try and like dive for the tailor and get her out of direct harm's way and sort of off to the sidelines here.
That feels like Act Quick. I'm going to give you advantage because you're invisible for the moment. Does that seem fair?
Yeah, totally. I'm super
Absolutely.
invisible.
Okay.
No one can ever see me. All right, so just straight advantage.
And Sherry, you can always opt to instead. Oh no, your stress track is filled. You can't.
Do I take a calamity, or how does that work?
Yes, when we're done with the scene, you'll be able to take a calamity.
I got a 10.
You got a 10, so there's this blur of speed and camouflage, and suddenly this woman is pushed back. What's the fixture you move you and her behind?
You said this was like a sort of shrine or chapel in here?
It's like a big pilgrim prayer area that they've got set up to have a lot of people in.
Yeah, I think there's a like garden section of it that's got some sort of manicured plants in it, and there's like a hedgerow that I managed to not a row, but like shove her into a bush sort of thing.
Roll back into some of the plants that are set up at the side of this thing. That seems absolutely fair. Recusant.
Yeah, I was prepared to have a meaningful conversation with my former friend here, but she went and stabbed my new friend. So I'm just gonna try and tackle her and get the knife out of her grasp.
Okay. Does this feel like firefight? As I think you are exposing yourself to danger and exchanging violence.
Oh, absolutely. Like normally it's a very dumb thing to like get in close range of a assassin, but since it's another one as well, maybe they'll cancel each other out. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's have you roll volatile.
All right. What is my volatile? It's it's a flat roll. Could be worse. That's a 7. Just
That
barely
is a
made it there.
7. On a 7 to 9, exchange harm. She's going to deal 3 harm to you. And choose one.
Let's see. Oh, I should have mentioned what weapon I was using. I'm using my knife as well.
Oh yeah, I figured it's a knife fight.
Yeah. But yeah, exchange harm. Kind of don't want to kill her. I have things. I think yeah, there's a moment's hesitation, so I'm not gonna discharge. So I think I'm kind of like gonna halt and advance, and basically I'm imagining that will let Kala like get away.
Okay.
And
is your knife toxic?
No, I think that I didn't have time to prepare. My thinking was, all right, we'll get into those rooms, prep for stuff. No, we have to run. So no, my knife's not toxic.
Okay. So you push her back. You kind of change the location. You get to the other side of the room. There are still 2 other pariah operatives in here. But you will deal your harm. She deals her harm. You both. I mean, essentially, these blades cut through like skin, like a hot knife through butter. And there'll be that slice, and then a second later, the blood comes out, cuts through clothing, and then you're both like standing and do that thing where you circle, and you're kind of switching knife styles, trying to judge what form each other are going to try and go into. And she says, I will have a seat in paradise when I bring your eyes back with me.
I'm glad to know you missed me as well.
Kala, a lot of blood, and 2 foes still out here.
How big is this room?
We said it was a pilgrim, so maybe 30 by 20.
Huge. Okay, so it's huge. All right. So I think what I do is I have a Vulcan pistol.
Okay.
I think that I pull it and I shoot that flippin' woman who stabbed me.
The one that Rakusin is fighting right now?
That would actually be really satisfying, but no, I guess I'll hit one of the operatives and let Rakusin have her combo. So.
Okay, let's have you roll firefight.
Oh gosh, and what is that with Stalwart?
That is with Volatile.
Oh God. What is Stalwart with? I thought that was a fighting for some reason. That is so weird. Okay. Someday
The
I'll
like keep your cool move.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Well,
so let me pause here.
Okay.
You can clear your stress because you're going to take a calamity, and I'll let you choose that calamity afterwards.
Okay. All right.
And go ahead and roll your firefight.
I will. I got a 10.
You got a 10. All right. So on a 10, you have your Vulcan pistol. Put that out there. You get to choose then from that 3 from the firefight move.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. And is that a standard move or a
combat move?
Okay.
Top left corner.
I will, let's see here. I will discharge it with, let's see here. I want to play it cagey and suffer -1 harm.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty hurt.
Yep. 2 more.
Let's see here. Is the stun weapon thing a thing I have to discharge for? The
You just say it
stun?
is.
Okay. So I'm just going to stun them. So I guess
Do you want to discharge it and essentially drop them from the stun?
Sure.
Okay. So you'll take 1 harm, which
Okay.
you can choose to take stress instead of harm. And you'll discharge your weapon, which means you've used it up, but you essentially, discharge the whole stun charge into this guy at close range as he comes at you with a knife. And there's still 1 more moving and active Kyrie.
It depends on whether she takes the harm and goes down or takes the stress.
I guess I'll take the stress. And did you say I had 3 or
I have 3, so
right?
you've got 1 more.
Yeah, I think that I'll take a moment to recover then. Does that make any sense? It says
Yes,
I'm able to
absolutely.
disengage. So I've knocked the one that was coming towards me down. The other one is not chosen how to move, so I will
Then, since it's a fractal, we immediately roll recover.
Okay, what is that on? Hopefully.
Stalwart.
Oh, good. That I actually have a decent thing in. So let's see here. Get to roll this and do 2, but I can roll badly. Oh no, I get a 10.
You're calm, efficient, and ready. Choose 2. You can ready a move, weapon, or piece of gear. Use a tactical pack to heal I'm knocked out on an ally, or shrug it off, heal just to scratch your I'm rattled on yourself.
I'll do the tactical pack and I'll ready another weapon.
Okay. Kyrie, you do see that. You see Kala blaze out with the stun from the Vulcan pistol and then drops back, and you see her grab a tactical pack onto that bleeding weapon, even as you hear the wee as her weapon recharges.
I'm gonna run towards the one that she was engaging with then, so they don't follow up on her.
Okay, this is the last one. I think that's firefight, unless you want to use your powers.
No, I'm not doing great on powers at the moment, but I do have a chameleon suit that's probably failing to keep up with this much activity, and a Dura sword.
Absolutely.
Which sounds exciting. Volatile's a 1. I'm assuming it's volatile.
Yep.
You and you. And that. That's an 8.
Okay, exchange harm and choose 1. So this guy, you guys sees the blur come out as you're still, it probably still sees the after image of the plants as you kind of come out, and you go to strike at him, and he'll put his blade into you.
So I can't do the first one. It doesn't have a discharge. I'll hold a position or halt in advance. I'm trying to keep any of them from getting closer to Kala while she's hurt.
Absolutely. You take 2 harm, but you deal 2 harm as the sword comes out, and he's trying to get in under your guard, but you'll slash at him, and he's forcing him back away more towards the door there. Recusant.
So I think while all that's happening, the 2 of us are doing a bit of West Side Story at the moment.
When you're a gent.
Exactly. What was her name again? Ashira, was it?
Ashur.
Sure. I think well, both of us are bleeding, wounded the exact same amount. I think I'm kind of like, do you really think you have this situation under control? Sure. Look around. Your target's not here anymore. Your goons are being taken care of, and well, surely you wouldn't think I'll be stupid enough to just bring 2 people with me.
Let's have you intimidate.
Intimidate with an outright lie. Damn, it's volatile. This is what I get for not praying to the icon. See, I got a 3. So it's fine.
What'd you get?
I got a 3.
Got a 3. I think that you see her go to leave, like clearly to get out, like she's yes. And she does, like she does that bolt. She's going to hit that window and go out. But I also think that that blade comes out of nowhere and you feel it go into your eye and kind of cuts there. We cut away from that. We veil on that. But she goes, hits that window with a mercurium knife, cuts through the plastic of it, and sails out into the cold, the humidity of that evening. You imagine, you don't see a body, but you imagine she must be dead, from that kind of jump. No one could have survived that.
Yeah, you're usually not trained to survive jumps like that. Nope, not at all.
Kyrie, how do you drop this guy?
Yeah, I think as like I'd engaged with him, and there's some actual like semi-skilled swordplay and like forms and stuff going on from Kyrie. But as recusant, I don't know, screams, yells, grunts, whatever level of there's some audibles being stabbed in the eye. He just like drops any pretense and just goes in for these like hammering, blunt, sort of unskilled blows at this guy.
Yeah, and this guy's clearly shocked by the person who is leading the trio going out the window. Didn't expect that, and then you will just goof, and you can drop this guy, and he will crash to the floor. And you can look around, Kala, and you will see this woman getting up out of the foliage.
Oh, you're muted.
And she's bleeding all over. Everyone's bleeding all over. She's taken her tactical pack that she was going to put on her arm, and she goes and puts it on recusant, and she kind of looks up, and she says, "The Telemanau will protect you from the Order of the Pariah. They have pledged this. Can I escort you to the..." And she sort of stops because she's getting a little faint. Like she goes, may we escort you to the Telemanau apartments?
Yes, yes.
I am sorry for this mess. I am sorry that we are late.
I still live. You are not late.
And she looks down and she goes, "There's a lot of blood." And she will look at Kyrie.
And you will see her kind of look, and she kind of helps you, and you see she kind of finally now sees Kyrie in his full, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." When she looks at you, Kyrie.
It's just a wound. We'll find a doctor. He's like distracted and over with recusant and like, yeah.
You've been like she can see you and she knows what you've been through.
I think he like catches on to that even between the concern for recusant. He just looks sort of angry with it, like there's no time for any of that.
And recusant, what's your reaction to get that tack pack slapped on your leg?
I think I was just about to like probably do some sort of hysterical scream, but I think the tack pack and like downgrades that to hysterical babbling. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like muttering. No, it's not muttering. It's a like a background noise. I'm going like, I can't believe she did it. She she joked about it. I remember that she joked. She told me, Nafisa, your eyes kept he just stares all over the place. Someday I'm gonna take them and I'd be rewarded for it. And I'd say, sure, you don't have the guts to do it. You're too soft. and
Ella goes, you still have your eye. I can repair it.
No. That's not the point. That's not the point. She tried to take it. That's the point. She
We'll find her. This is not the end of this. You're fine. We're gonna find them. We're gonna stop them from doing this to anyone else. And he's got like his hands on either side of their face, just saying, "You're safe. We're safe. We're gonna get through this."
I think you imagine there's a moment where they recoil from you, but then I think the exhaustion just gets to them and they kind of like just collapse into your arms and tries not to sob because it really hurts.
And I think
really
that
hurts.
is.
I would try to help because I have advantage on recover, but we're all at exactly the health level that none of us can actually heal. We can heal every other health level except the one that we're at.
That seems like a problem in the system. I think it's a good note for us to close on here.
Okay.
Let's do the end of session. We'll take up with the fallout from all of this next time. We do the end of session check for XP. Did you complete a mission? Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody mark an
yeah.
XP. Did you learn something new and important about the universe? That prophecy.
Yeah.
I'll give you a point for that. Did you make a new enemy or thwart an existing enemy? I think both. Recusant, did any of your hooks cause you problems?
Gee, I wonder which one.
There you go. Mark an XP. Kyrie, did any of your hooks cause you problems?
You know, I don't remember us running into anything from Kyrie's. Oh wait, I think there was that one short scene.
Give you a point for that.
It's called the whole game.
And Sherry?
No. I mean, I trusted my companions, and they mostly were aces. So
I do actually think because you trusted Kyrie about the whole thing, I think there's an implied there that you couldn't even think that Kyrie would have put those grenades there.
No, that isn't Kyrie. Kyrie is a kind and gentle soul.
I will give you a point for that. I'm going to hold off on Stars and Wishes till next time when we have everybody here. But I appreciate all of you. We'll go through and figure out how you heal from I'm hurt bad. I think out of combat there that's essentially it's the damage level that you can't heal from sort of in combat. Though having that and then having the knocked out after it seems odd. But anyway.
Yeah. But
anyway,
hey, we all get to have fun with surgery next time.
Yes. Thank you all very much. I appreciate that coming in, and we'll take up with the follow up with Chalebs and all of that next time. I'm going to stop streaming.